Right, now, he's the star of stage and screen whose bubblegum music and boyish good looks sent teenage girls across the globe falling madly in puppy love.
Now, 50 years on, the legendary Donny Osmond is swapping the bright lights of Las Vegas for London's West End. And we're going to speak to Donny. He's right here, much to the delight of Alice Beer, in just a moment. First, let's take a look at some of those highlights from his nearly 60-year career in show business.
Donny, the idol of young girls all over the world, took the weenie boppers of England by storm.
This is not a puppy love.
And he's here now. How
Donny.
lovely to see you.
I just have to say something. Hats off to Allison. Allison, I love you for doing. I've got to try that one of these
You
days.
should do it.
Yes.
It's meant to be really good for you.
Yeah. I love being back here. Guys, I'm having the time of my life.
So this is the first time that you've done panto.
And I can't figure out why it's taken me so long. Maybe it took Michael Harrison to get me over here. What a great producer he is. Oh, my goodness. We're having the time of our lives. So I can't tell you exactly what we're doing, but I will tell you one thing that, watching Puppy Love, Paul Zerdin and Sam, okay? I do Puppy Love with Sam, and that's all I'm going to tell you because we are just laughing our heads off.
You're playing the wizard, aren't you?
I am the wizard. I'm commanding all of this pyro on stage, and I do sing Crazy Horses. Crazy Horses! And
Oh, how brilliant.
guys, it's so fun.
You know what? You're in, I mean, I go and see that panto every year. It's absolutely brilliant. You're in such a good company because you've got Julian Clary, who is the master at it, Nigel Havers, but rehearsals, I imagine, must be tricky because you must just be falling apart laughing constantly.
Well, let me just tell you something about Julian, okay? We do have a script.
Yeah.
I do a song with him. I'm not going to tell you what we sing, but it doesn't matter that we have a script because it changes every time we do it. He is so clever. And every time something comes out of his mouth, I just laugh my head off. And it's so much fun. I hope you get a chance to see it because it is hilarious.
No,
Jimmy did.
My brother Jimmy did. Oh, yeah, he did panto a lot. And he kept telling me how much fun he was having.
Because it's really quite, I always think for someone from America who's not seen this very peculiar British tradition for the first time.
Perfect word for it. Peculiar.
Yeah.
But I love British humor. I get it. And I eat it up like crazy. So that's why I'm loving every second of it.
No.
And one other thing I got to tell you. So Saturday night, I went to the Palladium for the first time. And then I realized 50 years ago, I walked on that stage, that very stage, and that's what started the whole Osmond Mania thing.
No way.
It was at the Palladium. It was a Royal Command performance. That's the picture.
No
It was the Royal
way.
Command performance. I remember Her Majesty was right there, stage right, and I remember all of this screaming, and that's what kicked off the whole thing.
Wow.
And I walked on stage again on that very stage. It was such a surreal moment.
I bet it was. It must be we're going back there now, remembering all of that. And you've said before that when you look at, all those footage that we played and your introduction there, that it feels like somebody else somehow.
It does. That picture you just showed.
Yeah.
It was me, and those are my brothers, but it really does feel like someone else.
Because you've changed so much, or because...
No, it's because I live two different lives. I'm a husband, I'm a grandpa, father, and when I go home, I really go home. I hang up the show business. I live two different lives, and when I'm on stage, don't stop me, because, just full 100% on stage.
But you mentioned those two lives. When you married Debbie, was it in 1978? 78. You kept it quiet. You had to keep it quiet.
Well, the dating we had to keep quiet.
Yeah.
The marriage we couldn't keep quiet because everyone was afraid that if Donny Osmond is getting serious with a girl, it would hurt my career. And it did after I got married. There were, you guys, literally, Donny Osmond record burning parties.
Oh my God.
There were. And it took a long time to kind of reinvent myself and come out with new things. It was a difficult transition to make, but I did it. And when Justin Bieber came out with Lonely, I watched that video And I thought, boy, if anybody can relate to that, I can.
Oh, God,
So it
yeah.
inspired a song that I wrote on my new album, my 65th album, by the way.
Well,
65th.
congratulations.
It's about life after loneliness. And so
Was it that bad?
it was horrible.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a very difficult transition to make from a teen idol to an adult entertainer. It's sometimes very well. It depends on the generation you're talking to, because a lot of people remember me from the Puppy Love era. Now, I was the first masked singer in the state. I was the peacock. So to certain young people, I'm a peacock.
To your grandchildren, you're a peacock.
My grandkids even still call me to a peacock to this day. How you doing, peacock? Oh, I'm doing good.
But that, I mean, it's sort of having that mask on. At one point, you even released a song that you didn't put your name to kind of get so people would love the music, but not necessarily know it was you.
That was by accident, actually.
Yeah.
I had released Soldier Love here in the UK, and it was a marginal success or whatever.
Yeah.
And an import made it over to the United States, and they loved the record, but the stations were afraid to say they were playing Donny Osmond music because the image was still hanging over my head.
Oh my God.
So I had a #1 record in New York City, the #1 market on the #1 pop station, and nobody knew it was me.
Wow.
And it was the best thing that ever could have happened because the music spoke for itself.
Yeah.
And then they found out who it was, and that's how it all broke loose.
And of course, Joseph was massive.
No.
And you've got. There's another Joseph.
Jack
Yarrow. Jack Yarrow, who's to me, he's a perfect Joseph, and I was so honored that Andrew Lloyd Webber picked me to be in the movie because I did that show 2,000 times over 6 years, and then Sophie Isaacs is also in the show and plays the love interest with Jack.
Yeah.
She is amazing voice. This cast, you guys.
Oh, I can't wait.
am so honored to be part of this panto show. I can hardly wait for it to start. We start Saturday.
Yeah.
4th of December to the 9th of January.
And I
at
wish
the
I could go
Palladium.
further, but I've got to get back to my residency in Vegas.
Yes.
I wanted to go longer than the January 9th, but I've got to get back.
I mean, that's a high value problem.
It's a nice
I
problem
have to
to
stop
have.
at the Palladium because I've got to go back to Caesar's Palace.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a fun show, you guys. I put all 65 albums on the big screen, and anybody it's like 10 or 15 minutes of improv. Anyone in the audience can pick any song on any album, and we do it just like
How
that.
brilliant.
So the show changes every night.
Which is nice for you as well. Listen, thank you. Enjoy Panto. It's going to be brilliant.
Gonna
As I
have
said,
so much
4th of
fun.
December to the 9th of January. Thank you so much.
Great to see you guys.
Thank you.
And Merry Christmas.
Thank you. After the break, we're joining Clodagh in the kitchen for a taste of her warming winter stew. We'll see you in a bit.